Hi, today I want to talk about a really important subject, and that is the left thumb. The left thumb is an issue with a lot of people's playing. Sometimes people really clench the instrument with the left thumb, making it more difficult to have a nice relaxed vibrato, nice fast fingers. If you're holding on too tight, it can really affect your shifting. So I just want to go over a few simple things to help us think about and work on our left thumb. So the first thing I want to tell you is almost all the exercises that I do with my left thumb involve a very simple scale pattern like this. I mean, you can really use any scale pattern you want. You can play an F natural instead. But I choose to play D, E, F sharp, G, A, just like the beginning of Schrodiek when it has that simple scale on one string. I usually do this on the D string. You can do it on any string you want. You can change it every day. But the main thing is that we want to find A, what is a good placement of our thumb, and B, how can we keep our thumb loose so that we can shift easily, vibrato easily, and move our fingers relatively quickly. So let's start right away by talking about thumb placement. A lot of people play with their thumb behind the first finger like this. That's fine. That's good. It's great to play like that. If you play well like that, that's awesome. A lot of people play with their thumb across from the first finger, so it looks a little bit more like this. That's also good. Some people play with their thumb even farther up, like across from the second finger. I have trouble doing that, but if that works for you, that's good. What's my advice? My advice is to try all of them and to work on playing in all sorts of different places, because then we always have flexibility. And the key to playing the instrument well is to play with great flexibility, of course. So if I want my vibrato to sound good, I can find the really best place for my thumb. So you can see me I'll vibrate on the second finger and I'll look around for where I feel the most comfortable with my thumb. It's about right here. That's where I feel comfortable. If I feel comfortable there, I make a mental note of it, and that's where I'm going to shoot for when I play a nice, beautiful second finger. I'll try to get my thumb somewhere near that, wherever it feels comfortable. The main thing is that when we're playing the instrument, that we feel comfortable. So a good exercise is to play that little scale and change the thumb in 3 different places. Just like that. And you can see that it's helpful because when I do that, every time I finish one little scale, my thumb moves, and that means I'm gaining flexibility with my thumb. Now, to bring that one step further, I can start moving the thumb on every note. Let me show you that one. There you have it. And you can see at the end of that, I was moving it 2 times on every note because that gives me more mobility of the thumb. Let me show you that again. Like that. You'll notice I don't really sound that good when I do that, but it really helps me because it really gives me an idea of how my thumb can work and how my thumb can have freedom and separation from the rest of my fingers, which are independence, which is really good. So I work on that stuff a lot. I want to talk about one thing quickly, and that is the finger pressure of the other 4 fingers. So we're working on the thumb, not gripping, but don't forget, the other 4 fingers have something to do with that too. So I do this really good exercise using the same scale, and what I'll do is I'll put my fingers down as hard as possible, then I'll go down to about 75%, 50%, 25% until I get hardly any sound. And then I go back again and see what is the least that I have to put my finger down to get a good sound, and what kind of sound do I get when I do what. So let me just show you the exercise. That's really 100% finger action there. I'm really throwing and slamming my fingers down. So that's like really strong finger action, hard against the fingerboard. Now I'm going to go to about 75%. Now you'll see the sound isn't that clear, but it's interesting because if I vibrate those notes just a little bit, my fingers will sink into the string and you'll actually hear a pretty good sound. Now I'm going to go to 50%. 25%. 0%. Just touching the top of the string. Why is that good? Because I have a lot of control now how hard I'm going to touch the string. So a lot of times I'll play at about 80%, but it makes my fingers lighter, and that in turn will make my thumb looser and feel better and will give me more mobility. Now the other thing we can do is we can do taps. So if I play here a little scale, the same scale, I can tap the fingerboard with my thumb, and that helps me get the feeling of the independence of the thumb and my fingers. So those are great ways to get our fingers working. One thing we need to talk about when we talk about the thumb, everything we've been doing right now is in the first position with that, but we also can use the thumb to shift. So when I do that, I can do a simple shift like a E to a G. Like so, and what I can do is I can do it without the thumb at all. And as you can see, as I was doing that, I slowly moved my thumb to the fingerboard and back away, and that way I can feel what it feels like not even to use the thumb in a shift and to use very little pressure with the thumb. So all these things are really helpful. The main thing is, to me, is that when we're working, that we really are tuned into what we're doing, and that if we're always thinking about our thumb being relaxed and mobile and helping us, that then it becomes a habit of really trying to keep the thumb loose, and that in effect loosens our hand, and then our playing can become a lot better. Now, one other thing that I want to talk about before the end of the video is vibrato. Vibrato really uses a loose thumb. If our thumb's too tight, I'm tight here, we get that death grip vibrato, as they call it. But if the thumb's nice and loose, then we can see that that joint there right inside here is very loose, and you can see that my hand can move separately from my thumb over there, and I can get a beautiful sound. So in order to practice that, all I really do is vibrate with my thumb on the board and see how comfortable it can be. And then I start moving my thumb around to kind of get a feeling. Like so. It doesn't have to sound good. It just needs to get you attuned to the fingerboard with the thumb and the left hand that we have comfort. Well, I know this was kind of a strange video because not everything sounded that good, but I think it's really helpful to do these exercises. And one thing I'd like to say is the more simple things that we play, the easier it is to correct our problems. So that's why I use just that simple Schradiak to fix all my problems, because that way I know what I'm doing so much there. I can kind of play that without thinking, and then I can put all my focus on whatever it is I want to learn. And over here I can put all my focus on my thumb, and you can see how nice and loose it is, and I'm just going to keep on working at it. So just to recap, you can play the Schradiak with your thumb back here. I can move it back out. I can tap. Like that. I can do all sorts of things, and that's how I really work on my thumb all the time. When I'm playing a piece, I do the same thing. You see my thumb moving. So you'll see when I'm playing that I'm actually moving my thumb all the time, which is something that I really do a lot. So even when I'm playing chamber music, or especially when I'm playing in the orchestra, you know, when we play in the orchestra, sometimes we get really tight in our left hand, and I just continually move my thumb around and keep my hand relaxed so that I can play for a lot longer time. And that's really helpful to me. So again, I hope you enjoyed the video. It's great to see you, and I'll see you on the next one. And until I do, happy practicing.